So we're continuing with the application of derivatives. Last time we solved a few sums on uh, extreme values, like the maximum value, minimum value, where the direct functions were given to you, and also at some places where the functions were not directly given to you, but instead of the function, a word problem, type of a question was given. So you were accordingly supposed to understand the word problem and convert it to a proper function and then find out whatever the maximum value or minimum value, yeah, increasing, decreasing, jo bhi hai. So after that, we dealt something about cost function, demand function. What do you mean by supply function, revenue function, and then usme ही average cost, average revenue, or marginal cost or marginal revenue. What do you mean by all those terms? And also we dealt with price elasticity of demand, right? So these are the new things that we learned in the last class. Today, let us continue with the same thing. So for that, I think we can start with a word problem in the textbook. So this word problem says, in a factory for production of Q articles, standing charges are 500, labor charges are 700, and processing charges are 50Q. The price of an article for what values of Q the profit is increasing. Okay, so this is a word problem. Okay, so please try to understand the problem first. They're talking about a factory where the factory kind of produces Q articles. Okay, Q, that's a name of an article. Okay, so after in that company, the standing charges are 500 rupees. Like 500 means what? Abhi suppose you see example of that electric bill which you must have seen that comes to your house. Usme, even if you don't use electricity at all, even for like 1 month, 2 month, or you are not in town for a few months, but still you have to pay the minimum charge, right? The standing charge which you have to pay even if you don't use thoda bhi electricity, but still you have to pay. So that is called as standing charges. मतलब for sure that limit my minimum amount you have to pay, और उसके addition में जितना भी you use उस हिसाब से you have to pay, correct? And labor charges are 700, means of course for how many people were used or how many laborers were required for doing that particular task, so unke liye unka charges. And processing charges are 50Q. Okay, processing charges means like again in making how much is being used. The price of an article is 1700 minus 3Q for what values of Q the profit is increasing. Okay, for what value of Q the profit is increasing. Matlab, you know that they're talking actually about profit. Okay, they're talking about profit, they're not talking about anything else. But what do we have over here? Do we have anything related to profit? No, they've given us standing charges, this labor charges, processing charges, and that price and all, but they've not given us profit anyway. But we can find out profit. The very basic formula for profit that we all know is related to cost and selling price, correct? And I think I've told you last time as well that revenue, correct? Revenue is nothing but like your selling price only. जैसे revenue function हमने किया था, that time we told you all. Revenue function is nothing but something like the selling price only. Whenever you sell everything, whatever you have produced, and after selling whatever amount you get, that's like your income, correct? So that is your revenue. So let us first find out cost. Okay, so this is the solution. cost of production of Q articles. Yes. So what will be the cost? The cost will be all that basic amount that you pay, right? This is the basic fixed amount, correct? So that's like the fixed amount, 500 rupees. And the labor charges also you have to pay. And then processing charge. So for that will be 50Q. So all this you will add, like Abhi, suppose you are like transporting, you are into a business and then you are buying, say all clothes, okay? Clothes from some one place to the another place. So what will be your cost? I mean, how much will you have to spend? You have to spend your money on buying everything. You have to spend money on transportation, transporting it from one place to another place. Then you also have to give money to the laborers because you cannot do it alone, correct? So so many things are, other amounts are also included in it. So everything put together is that amount that you get, which you call it as cost price, because all this amount together goes from your pocket, correct? So this cost function will be nothing but adding all the three amounts that you have spent: standing charges plus labor charges plus processing charges. So how much is this? We'll add everything. C will be 500 plus 700 plus 50Q. 50Q means there are Q articles, correct? So 50Q. So this will be, we can just add this one because they are numbers. So 1200 plus 50Q will be as it is. So this will be a cost function. Okay. Now coming to revenue, as I said, for cost we need both the functions, cost and revenue, and then it is easy to find out this thing, profit function. Revenue ka last time I had given you that formula, correct? For finding out revenue. The revenue was nothing but that price of one into quantity, correct? So that is called as a total revenue. Ab jaise we denoted it last time using something like this, P into D, where P was price and D was demand, right? Suppose you are selling 10 books, each for 5 rupees. You are selling all the 10 books, each for 5 rupees. Your total income or your total revenue is 50, no? 10 into 5. So यहाँ पे हम Q articles कर रहे हैं. वहाँ पे initially it was demand, but here talking about Q number of articles, correct? So that will be price into that Q charges, okay? So this P is nothing but price. How much did they tell us the price of an article is? They said price of an article is 1700 minus 3Q. So I will substitute that over here into Q as it is. After opening the bracket, I get 1700Q minus 3Q square. Okay, minus 3Q square. Now, what do you mean by profit? Profit, we know that, so it's just a way of denoting all the time, like in the textbook, profit is denoted using pi. Okay, we know that profit is always calculated as selling price minus cost price, but this time we have revenue and cost, so I'll write it as R minus C. So what is the revenue function that you got? Revenue function is this thing, 1700Q minus 3Q square. So this is 1700Q minus 3Q square minus C, your cost function. What is your cost function? 1200 plus 50Q. So this is 1200 plus 50Q. So this is nothing but 1700Q minus 3Q square minus 1200. This minus, so that is why minus 50Q. Okay. So what do we get after this is, here we have, this thing is 3Q square and this is just a number. So these are the two terms which are involving Q. So we can subtract 1700 minus 50. So that gives me 16. So this everything is pi. 1650Q minus 3Q square minus 1200. Okay. So then now we have differentiating. So right, this is your profit function, correct? So this is something, we have the profit function. Now this profit function you have to, for what you want to do, now you have to find out values of Q for which profit is increasing. Increasing means that, I think we did it last to last time. Yes, last to last time's video. How do you do that when they tell you that the function is increasing? What are the steps involved? So increasing function के लिए the derivative is greater than 0. correct? Derivative of the function is greater than 0. So right now, if this is the function that we have, what is the variable involved over here? Q, correct? Otherwise, हमेशा हमारे पास ऐसे equations होते थे ना, 2x square plus 3x minus 15, something like this. So if this is y equal to, so we always write dy by dx because this is the name of that function and these are the variables involved with respect to what it is changing. So abhi with respect to pi we change, correct? So we can write differentiating with respect to q. Okay, so we have dq, d by dq, I mean derivating pi with respect to q. So we can derivate this entire thing. I'll erase this. Okay, so derivating this we get d by dq of this full thing. What is that full thing? 1650q minus 3q square minus 1200. D pi by dq, which is equal to, this is 16550q, that is nothing but 1650, right? How like we derivate. Suppose if we derivate, I can do that individually, just a second. We'll do that individually, not skip steps right now. D by dq is 1650q minus, again derivating like, each and every term individually. Okay, then d pi by dq is equal to 1650. That is because whenever you have any number into q, we can always take that q and that number outside, and then what remains? D by dq of q minus 3, again we can take common from here, the constants can be taken out. D by dq of q square minus d by dq of 120. It's a constant, so it will stay as it is. D pi by dq, which is equal to 1650. This is what? 1, correct? Because we're derivating something with respect to itself. So that's 1 minus 3 into d by dq of q square. अब जैसे हम लोग लिखते हैं d by dx of x square, वैसा ही है ये d by dq of q square. तो इसका आंसर क्या होता है? When you derivate x square with respect to x, you get the derivative as 2x, correct? So likewise, when you're derivating q square, you get the derivative of as 2q, okay, minus of this is a constant, so it will be 0 only. So we have d pi by dq, which is equal to 1650 minus 3 2s are 6, 6q. Okay, so this is the major equation that we have. Now after this, what did they tell you? I just told you all that we want the profit to be increasing, so this thing, the derivative should be greater than 0, correct? If profit is increasing, then d pi by dq is greater than 0. Hence, you have 1650 minus 6q is greater than 0. Therefore, 1650 is greater than 6q. So, q is less than 1650 divided by 6, correct? The signs are not changing. When I divide 1650 by 6, I get the answer as 275. Okay, 275. So this thing, profit will be increasing if you make quantities like the q articles less than 275. Okay, it may happen that अगर इससे तुम ज्यादा बना रहे हो तो तुमको loss में चला जाएगा or something like that. So hence you should just end up with the last statement. Profit is increasing for q less than 275. Okay, because there are so many other charges are also involved. So if it may happen that अगर ये कम हुआ या quantity अगर इससे this thing ज़्यादा हो गया, so then there might be a problem. Okay, so let us do the other problem. The other problem kind of involves elasticity of demand, and there were many cases of elasticity of demand which we did in the previous class. Like what depends on the value कि क्या है, if it is like between 0 and 1, if it is exactly equal to 1, if it's greater than 1, then what, elastic, inelastic, perfectly unitary, and we had all those types in the last class. So this one, the next problem is somewhat similar to that. you have to where you'll get many values of elasticity of demand and then you have to interpret कि इसका value क्या है, इसका मतलब क्या है. So the next one, demand function for a certain commodity is given as 200 minus 4p, where p is the unit price find elasticity of demand as a function of p. Okay. Now the next one, elasticity of demand when uh, p is equal to 10, p is equal to 30. Now we have to interpret your results. Okay. Now, as they have said that we have to find out elasticity of one more thing. Sorry, you have one more question. Okay. The price P for which elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Okay. So these are the three things. Pehle baat to they're telling you to find out elasticity of demand as a function of price. Okay. That formula also we had done it last time. Abhi yahan pe the only change is demand function is X. Okay. And unless like until last lecture we denoted using D. Correct. Capital D was demand function. P was P, capital P was price function. But here they have given the demand function is denoted using X. So you just have to, use the same notations. What was the formula? Elasticity of demand was, so whatever that formula was there, we denoted using like this eta and minus P by D tha. But abhi D nahi hai, so that is why I'm using X into D derivative of demand with respect to price tha, so I'm doing it ulta, right? Okay. So after this, now what do we have? What is given to us in the question? The demand function is given as 200 minus 4p. Okay. And we have to find out elasticity of demand. We need this everything. Okay. We need p, we need x, we need derivative of x with respect to p. I mean, this function we already have x. So if we derivate this function with respect to p, we can easily give the value of dx by dp, right? So we can easily get the value of dx by dp. Now, that which is equal to, we can find out dx by dp first. Dx by dp which is equal to, since our x is 200 minus 4p, we can derivate this with respect to p, so we get the answer as minus 4, correct? So this is nothing but 0. Minus 4 into derivative of p, like with respect to itself, is equal to 1. So we get this answer as minus 4. Now let us substitute it in elasticity of demand wala equation. They give you minus p upon, so right now we don't have the value of price. So what we can do is x, right? So whatever we know, we will substitute that everything. X is 200 minus 4p. 200 minus 4p and this thing dx by dt. So that is equal to how much? Minus 4, correct? That's equal to minus 4. So now this one, what do you get this now? So here we get eta is equal to, that's 4p upon 200 minus 4p. So we will not leave it over here. Instead of leaving it over here, we can, take that 4 also common, correct? That will be 4p upon 4 into, here we get 50 minus p, correct? So whatever remains that we will cancel 4, 4. So eta is equal to p by 50 50 minus P. Okay, 50 minus P. Now, when they're telling you, like interpret the results, Abhi, what you can do is, Abhi, you can find out. We know that there are various ranges for this elasticity of demand to take, correct? Less than 0, 0 to 1, greater than 0, so on and so forth. Now, ye wala value for all P less than 50, okay? Agar P greater than 50 ho jayega, so then this will go below 0. Are you understanding? अगर ये वाला वैल्यू सपोज पी का वैल्यू अगर 50 से बड़ा है, सपोज ये वाला 51 है, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द नेक्स्ट वैल्यू टू 50. So if this is 51, that will be 51 upon this will be 50 minus 1, that will be negative, correct? So that will become a negative value. So that is not possible. You all don't want that to happen. So we will put a condition over here. So P will be less than 50. अगर P equal to be 50 रहता है, so then 50 minus 50, you will have a 0 in the denominator, which is not defined, right? So we should have all the values of P should be less than 50. अगर 50 से थोड़ा भी बड़ा हो गया, so now this becomes 51 or 52, like I said, or 60. So this becomes a negative value, which is not okay, correct? So then, hence P should have less than 50k values. Now coming to the next. What did they tell us in the first question? They just told us to write elasticity of demand as a function of P, correct? So we have written that already. We have written elasticity of demand as a function of P. Now the next question they're telling us to do is find elasticity of demand when at particular places, at particular points, when price is equal to 10, when price is equal to 30, and then you have to interpret your results on that basis. So second one is when P is equal to 10 and when P is equal to 30. So the above equation that we have, the main equation, we're just going to put the value, substitute the values of P as given. When P is equal to T, elasticity of demand will be 10 by, so this is nothing but 10 by 40. So when you divide, that is 1 by 4, that is equal to 0.25, which is clearly less than 1, right? So when that is less than 1, okay. So now when it is less than 1, when elasticity of demand is less than 1, so what can you interpret? The demand is actually inelastic, right? So when it is less than 1, the demand is inelastic. So demand is inelastic for P is equal to 10. Okay, it is inelastic for P is equal to 10. Let us do it for P is equal to 30. I will again give you all these rules hopefully by the end of this question one more time, because that time, yeah, last week we had done it. So we'll just I'll just give you that ranges. अगर ये value to ये value है तो what do you call it? Just like in 1 minute, a quick this thing I'll give you. So when it is equal to 30, elasticity of demand is 30 upon 50 minus 30. So this is nothing but 30 upon 20. So this is nothing but 3 by 2, that is equal to 1.5, which is actually greater than 1, right? So when it is greater than 1, you call it demand is elastic. Demand is elastic when P is equal to 30. Okay. So when it is 50, when is equal to 10. When price is 10, the demand is inelastic. When price is 30, demand is elastic. Okay. So now the third one, the next sub question, that is what was asked in the second sub question. Try set these two values and interpret the results. Third one is the price P for which elasticity of demand ka value is equal to 2. Matlab that eta ka value should be equal to 2. This should be, sorry, it is equal to 1. I'm so sorry. It's equal to 1. So this is equal to 1. So we'll just substitute it. This is the main equation that I have. I'll rewrite it. So this is the main equation we have. P upon 50 minus P. What are they telling you? They're telling you to find price when elasticity of demand is equal to 1, right? So I'll just substitute this over here. So when P by 50 minus P, that is equal to, अभी जहाँ जहाँ ये है elasticity of demand है, हम उसको वो जगह पे 1 substitute करेंगे. So that will be P, which is equal to 50 minus P. Taking all like terms at one places, P and then 50. P will be equal to 50 by 2, that's equal to 25. So hence now elasticity equal to 1 तभी होगा when price is 25 per unit, okay, because there also they had given the price with respect to units only, correct? So you have to do the last statement like that. So for elasticity equal to 1, the price should be 25 per unit. Okay, price should be 25 per unit. So in this question, it's like divided, it is like very simple, but it's just divided into three different types. First, they told you to write elasticity of demand with respect to price. That equation they told you to find out. Then second में they specifically gave you 2 points, 10 and 30. वो दो prices पे elasticity of demand find करो और interpret your results. And the third one was when elasticity of elasticity of demand is equal to 1, that time you find out the price. Okay, so then this is just like as I told you a few minutes back. I'll just tell you what are the other ways, right? Okay, जब भी वो वाला value elasticity demand क्या value लेता है, then what can you call it? Suppose elasticity of demand it is equal to 0. Okay, so this is called as demand is, I'm not writing the entire statement, but demand is perfectly inelastic. Okay, perfectly inelastic. Now 0 हो गया, अब 0 और 1 के बीच में, 0 और 1 के बीच में लाई करता है, then it is relatively inelastic. Relatively inelastic. अब अगर वो 1 हुआ, 1 होता है, then it is called as unitary elastic. Okay, like the example, the third this thing was given to us, and it is exactly equal to 1, find out the price. So tabhi that was it was actually unitary elastic. Okay, the next question is now when it goes beyond 1, that time it is relatively elastic. Okay, so these are the prices, I mean these are the other these things. So यहाँ पे 1.5 था, right? So what was greater? So then we wrote it elastic. फिर एक जगह पे it was less than 1, so we wrote it as inelastic. Okay, so these are the values. And उससे पहले वाला में वो less than 0 जा रहा था. So that is why we purposely took it as P is less than 50. Now, the next question is based on, it's like a comparison of 3 that I think I have already done it in the last class. That was like the last question of, I'll just write the formula so that we're not missing anything. So the formula that was involved in the previous question was, this is marginal revenue, which is equal to average revenue into 1 minus 1 upon 8. So we had solved a problem where I think these two things were given to us, elasticity of demand and average revenue. This one you had to find. So that we did it in the last class itself, as I said. So let us move on to the next solved example. Now, before moving on to the next solved example, there are a few tiny things that you need to know after that comes immediately after elasticity of demand only, but I didn't do it then. So there's something called as few formulas you have to remember, because that is only involved in this sum. It was not there in any other solved example. This was the one thing. So marginal propensity to consume. Okay, now if suppose, see, there is always like one limit, right? A person can spend, or else a person सोचता है कि मैं इतना percentile spend, this ना will be my expenditure, इतना will be my savings. Okay, वो बोलता है suppose I'll spend 40%, I'll save 60%, or whatever it is, I'll spend 50%, I'll save 50%, equal भी हो गया तो भी. So then there are some points where he may not have to save, he cannot save, and he will, or he may take that amount which is kept for saving also. Sometimes he may spend that amount as well. So that is called as marginal propensity. So that is what is called as he consumes that amount also. What he had planned to save, but he couldn't do that, and he's consuming that and he's spending it to something else. So that is this criterion. So as I said, this is with respect to expenditure. Consume means वो तुम consume कर रहे हो, मतलब तुम उसको expenditure कर रहे हो, खर्चा कर रहे हो तुम पे. So that is what is called as to consume also. So for a person with income X, the consumption expenditure. So for a person with income X, his consumption expenditure, which is denoted using EC, depends on X. Okay, depends on X. Now, so that is nothing but EC, which is equal to, it's a function of X, as I said. So marginal propensity to consume is marginal propensity to consume, that is denoted using MPC, and the formula is when you derivate that expenditure with respect to X, with respect to income. Okay, so that's the formula. And the next one is nothing but average propensity to consume. Now all these formulas are kind of similar. You don't have to by heart anything if you have already done the formulas in the from the previous class. जैसे average cost the average revenue था. Likewise, then you have average propensity to consume, APC. So that will be nothing but average, right? So average में you always divide by the number of quantities. जैसे usually statistics में average में what do we do? You always divide by the number of observations, right? So here we are dividing it by the income. So average, and the next one is exactly opposite to this. The next one will be marginal propensity to save. Now, if there's something that you were like planning to spend on, but वो वाला तुमने that thing you are like putting it into your saving. So this is उल्टा. वहां पे था ऊपर वाला जो save करना था, if you're putting that to expenditure, and here this is something that you are putting it to something to spend, and that you are putting it in your savings. That is called as marginal propensity to save. So this is MPS. This is if S is a saving of a person, जैसे इसके definition के लिए इसमें savings आता है. If S is a saving of a person with some income X, then marginal propensity to save, MPS, is equal to derivative of savings with respect to X. Okay. Now average propensity to save, average propensity to save, the answer will be APS, to which you get S by X. Okay. Now the total income. How do we denote the income? Your whatever you have. Suppose a person has spent 20,000 and he has saved 20,000. Okay. तो उसने sell something, सारे कुछ expenditure उसका खर्चा उस महीने का was 20,000, and savings is also made as is 20,000. So what was the total amount he earned? Total income कितना था? 40,000, right? Out of which he has spent 20 and he has saved 20. So income is always nothing but expenditure plus saving, correct? Expenditure plus saving. So now when you kind of differentiate these two sides, we'll get another formula. Differentiating both the sides with respect to X, what do we get? Differentiating X with respect to itself is always equal to 1. This is nothing but when you're derivating expenditure plus d by dx of s. Now these formulas we already have. This is nothing but 1, and derivating this expenditure with respect to x is nothing but, we have already done that, marginal propensity to consume. So this is nothing but MPC, correct? So this is nothing but MPC plus this is derivating savings with respect to x is nothing but marginal propensity to save. So that will be MPS. So in short, you're getting this another value, and also again when you don't want to say, so this is like one formula. One second. So this is like one formula that we have got. We may use this in word problems. I think another word problem that we're going to do, that we'll use this one. तो अब और एक word problem देना है. This was with reference to the marginal terms, correct? Now the other one will be with reference to the average wala terms. Again the same thing. Income is expenditure plus saving. Now instead of derivating, what am I doing is I am dividing throughout by x. Okay, so I am dividing throughout by x. So what do we get after dividing throughout by x? X by x is nothing but 1. So this we get EC by x plus S by x. 1 is equal to this EC. What is this? Expenditure by x. This is nothing but APC, average propensity to consume, right? So this is APC, average propensity to consume, and S by X. S by X is nothing but average propensity to save. So these things also we have done. So there are two new formulas that we have learned now. This one and this one. And also the other formulas also, marginal propensity, average propensity to save or consume, whatever it is. Okay. So let us do one problem that involves almost all of these formulas. We will need all of these formulas so that we can get that cleared. Okay. Now suppose you have this question. The consumption expenditure of a person with income X is given by this equation. 0.3 times 0 plus 0.003x. Find average propensity to consume marginal propensity to consume when income is to be more precise, this is a continuing statement. When income is rupees 200. Also find is marginal propensity to save. Okay. Yes. So we have a few things to find out, and I did not do these formulas last time because we couldn't do this sum, these types of problems. So I thought we'll discuss the formula also on the same day. So I did not do that last time. Okay. So in this question, they have given you equation of consumption expenditure, right? And they're telling you to find out average propensity to consume, marginal propensity to consume at a particular point when income is 200 rupees. Also find marginal propensity to save, right? So these are the solutions. Now after doing the solution, I'll quickly write down whatever is given. 0.00 1000x 6x square plus 0.003x, right? How many zeros? Yeah, 1 2 3. Okay, so there are three zeros, please. Three zeros. 0.000x plus 0.0003. Okay. So now the first thing they told us to consume is average propensity to consume. APC ka formula is nothing but average, as I said. So you don't have to even look at the formula. So that expenditure divided by X, right? So that is what we had done. So APC is nothing but that consumption expenditure divided by X. So you have this full thing 0.0006x square plus 0.003x divided by x, which is 0.006x plus 0.003. So this is the major value of APC. Okay, and now what are they telling you at specifically at a point or when the income was 200 rupees. And we all know that X is nothing but income, correct? So we will substitute when income is equal to 200 rupees or when X is equal to 200, that time APC will be nothing but 0.0006. There are three zeros. I don't know why am I writing two zeros. There are three zeros. Okay. X. So the X की जगह पे we have 200 plus 0.003. Okay. Too many zeros in the question. That is why. Okay. So here we have three zeros with six and two zeros with three. So अभी APC जहाँ पे है वहाँ पे तुमको X substitute करना है, not in the major equation. Okay. Now when you kind of multiply this, you will get the answer as, so this is nothing but 6 twos are 12. Okay, 6 twos are 12, and then you can deal with the decimals and the number of zeros. So you need not do that in rough. You can do it here directly. So 6 twos are 12. It's actually 2 nahi hai, it's 200. Correct? So 2 more zeros. Just say 5 into 100 is 500. So 2 more zeros. Likewise, this thing. So you just do 6 into this decimals before the number you can ignore for time being. So 6 into 200 is 1200. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. चार decimals के आगे you have a decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. तो चार digits के आगे हमारे पास है decimal. So that is nothing but 0.12 plus 0.003. So when you add it, 0.12 plus 0.003, you get the answer as 0.123. Average propensity to consume. Average propensity to consume is 0.123. Now the next question they asked us is marginal propensity to consume. What is marginal propensity to consume? We denote it using MPC, marginal propensity to consume, derivative of expenditure, consumption expenditure with respect to X, correct? So the same equation that we have, we are going to derivate it with respect to X, 1, 2, 3, X square plus 0.12, yes, 2 zeros. All right. So now how do we derivate this? This is nothing but a constant like how I told you before. These things will come outside and derivative of x square remains, right? So derivative of x square will be nothing but 2x plus 0.003. So this is nothing but again when you're multiplying it, this thing you can either multiply this इसको करके या फिर क्या कर सकते हो, because this is not going to be the final answer, right? Even they're telling you to find out this value when x is equal to 200. So they're telling you to find out marginal propensity to consume when income is 200 rupees. So this again we'll do. Thus, marginal propensity to consume is 0.0006 into 2 into 200 plus 0.12. Now you can kind of 0.0006 into 400 plus 0.003. Now you can do it like that only. 6 into 4 is 24 and then 2 more zeros. इसके आगे 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digit के आगे 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digit के आगे decimal लगेगा plus 0.003. So the final answer is 0.24 plus 0.003 which is equal to 0.243. So that's the final answer of MP, the marginal propensity to consume. Okay. These are the two things we have found out. Now, what did they tell us to find after average propensity to consume and marginal? They told us also find us marginal propensity to save. Okay, marginal propensity to save is nothing but MPS. Now, if you see carefully, marginal propensity to save के लिए, this is that formula which can easily help us get the value of MPS, right? Because MPC का value हमको पता है, and this is like one. Two things are known and one thing is unknown. So we can easily use this formula and find out the value of a marginal propensity to save. So let me just write that formula. Also, as we have MPC plus MPS, which is equal to 1. Therefore, MPS will be nothing but 1 minus MPC. This is equal to 1 minus 0.243, which is equal to 0.757 MPS. MPS. So that's equal to 0.757. Okay. So this is the final value of marginal propensity to save. So till now we have done questions involving profit function, cost function, revenue function. Either the when the word problem is given and when you have to put that in a proper equation, and then elasticity of demand. Then last time again we saw what are the different types. अगर values of elasticity of demand अलग अलग आता है तो उसका मतलब क्या होता है. And then here also we solved few problems related on that. Then we came to marginal propensity to consume, to save, and then average ones also. So with the help of all these formulas, you can easily find out. Just do those 3, 4, 5 problems thoroughly. Now I think we can do some extra problems.